Who's here? This is like my, second or third live stream in the history of this channel. And we're here to celebrate 1,000 subscribers. You guys, I'm so happy and excited. And every milestone must be celebrated, right? Let's see. Anybody else watching? Here we go. I'm going to pop up if you guys will let me know where you are watching from. That would be helpful. Let me know you're here. Today is going to be a Q&A. So if you are here live with me live, or if you are watching the replay, welcome. This will be available for replay. And if you post comments in the replay, I will also get back with you. I do have a few questions that were submitted prior to the live stream, but if you have any questions at all, you can also post those in the live stream today too, and I will answer those. We're also going to go over a couple of housekeeping items, and at some point we'll talk about what sunscreen I'm wearing today. We will also, if it is okay with you all, and if it is something that is needed and you are comfortable with, I would like to close this live stream in prayer. So we'll have like a prayer time for that. But I will explain more about that because I know that's probably coming out of left field for some of you. All right, let's see. Who is here? Jenny, hi. Thank you so much for watching from Florida. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. I am so sorry I keep coughing. I've got some water right here. I've got allergies. I'm sure we'll have people pop in and out because I was not sure what time to offer this, but this is a good time for me. Both my kids are in school. I don't have to pick up my daughter from school till around 2. And it's just me and the cats here at home. And I'm looking out my window and I'm seeing gorgeous yellow, red, orange leaves like falling from the sky. So, yes. Okay, let's jump into the Q&A. Well, okay, housekeeping items first. We already talked about celebrating 1,000 subs. I would be missing this opportunity if I didn't say thank you all. Seriously, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I started this channel because I was diagnosed with melanoma in 2021. It's like I hit my 40s and things just started to go downhill. We had just moved to Beaufort, South Carolina, which is on the coast of South Carolina. And I had noticed a freckle on my arm that kept getting darker for like 6 months. I was like, is that thing changing? I think it is. Is this getting darker? So the beginning of 2021, I always set like a word for my whole year of how I wanted it to be. And my word was health, which I never prioritize my health. I always prioritize my kids' health before my own. So that meant actually attending all of my doctor's appointments. So I made a dermatologist appointment. Actually, my OBGYN, I had her look at the spot and she said, I've got a dermatologist. You might just want to go get it checked out. So I really have my OBGYN to thank for sending me to the dermatologist. And he looked at it and he said, it doesn't look suspicious to me. It doesn't look like anything to be concerned about. But if you've noticed a change in it, I will biopsy it and send it off. So that's what he did. And I did not think another thing about that spot. So I was quite shocked when it came back as a melanoma, stage 1, which when the lab technician, I think they called me first, they originally said level 3. And in my brain, I heard stage 3. And so I looked up stage 3 melanoma cancer and went into a spiral of depression and sadness until I started learning more and educating myself that it was stage 1, level 3, meaning the depth of it, which thankfully was a 1B. If you know, you know. And had it removed in February of 2021. And now I just have a big scar on my arm. Thankfully, no more reoccurrences. So I started my channel in May not 2020, May of 2021, because I needed to find sunscreens. I mean, the bottom of it was I needed to find new sunscreens and I needed to educate myself on melanoma. And I needed a community to hold me responsible for being vigilant and staying on top of everything that I needed to know about keeping myself safe from future skin cancers. So I created this channel, and it has been a huge community of support for me, as well as I know for others. I don't know about anybody else, but melanoma is not something I can talk about with family members. I do have one friend who had a melanoma removed from her face that I connected with, but we've moved. We're now in a different part of South Carolina. So her and I would get into conversations. But really, if you haven't had cancer, it's hard to have those conversations with people because they just don't understand, right? I know I didn't get it before having cancer. I didn't get it. And I know mine is, incredibly mild. Like, I don't understand those of you who have been through immunotherapy or chemo. I don't understand that at all. And I can have compassion and I can listen, but it's not something I have any understanding of. So anyways, that's how my channel started. We're going to get into the Q&A. I'm going to pop some stuff up on the screen here. Let's see. The first question is, melanoma is one of the toughest cancers to feel on top of. What advice do you have for people on not beating it and it potentially causing a reoccurrence? And this was from My Melanoma World YouTube channel. And I just looked her up right before hopping on here. And she has a whole YouTube channel of her journey of melanoma that she had 8 years ago. And it looks like she has some other cancers and other issues come up since. So I have not looked at it, but once I'm off here, I will be checking out her channel. So if you want to check out her channel as well, I'm sure she would appreciate that. This question last week, I filmed the story, Charmaine's melanoma diagnosis story that I posted on yesterday. And I went on a walk around my neighborhood after filming that story because of this question right here, that it's hard to stay on top of melanoma. I'm not even 2 years out from having melanoma and being cancer free. So I feel like there are some of you that are much more qualified to answer this question for me, but I find it difficult to stay on top of. And as time goes on, those memories of what it felt to have the diagnosis, what it felt to have the surgery, the edges are dulling. And on one hand, that's good because I don't enjoy remembering painful parts of my history of my life. I don't enjoy that. I'm a person, I like to live in the now. I don't like to live in the past, and I don't like to live in the future. I like to live in the moment. I don't know if you can hear my cat meowing in the background. And so for me, it's scary to have those edges, those memories dull, because I'm worried that means I won't be as vigilant about wearing UPF clothing, making sure I have sunscreen on constantly. And I think that's something that, unfortunately, for those of us whose melanoma was caused by overexposure to UV and the sun's rays, that, in my opinion, we have to stay on top of. Like, it's important. It's important to set a routine, create a routine where you put sunscreen on in the morning, even when it's raining outside. I do that. Even if it was raining, I'm putting sunscreen on because I don't want to break that habit. I have a habit of putting makeup on. I have a habit of putting my contacts in the morning. I have a habit of, having a prayer time. And all of those things occur because I do them every day. And so that's what I do for myself, is I make sure that even on rainy days, I put sunscreen on. I apply sunscreen almost every 2 hours. Inside, not as much, but as soon as before I leave the house, I have a habit of reapplying my sunscreen. What are you guys' advice? Oh, Lisa, hi. Welcome, Lisa. Just saw you were here. Thanks for popping on. What advice would you have for people staying on top of not having a reoccurrence? And, I guess the other side of this while I'm waiting for some responses is if a reoccurrence happens, that doesn't mean that it's your fault. You know, if melanoma pops up again, it doesn't mean that it's at your fault, like you caused that to happen. Yes, if you've had melanoma and you go right back and it was caused by the sun. I'm not talking about melanomas that are not caused by UV exposure. But say you've had melanoma exposure and you go back outside, not putting on any sunscreen, not wearing UPF clothing, and it happens again. Honestly, this may sound harsh, but that I feel like that is your fault. Like if I go outside, that would be on me, you know? But if you're doing everything that you can think of to do, everything that you have the knowledge to do, because I know stuff is changing all the time. What we know about science, what we know about sunscreens, what we know about melanoma is changing, you know, new stuff comes into our knowledge. But if we're doing everything that we can to prevent it and it still happens, I don't think we should feel shame about that. I don't think we should judge ourselves too harshly about that. I don't know, just a thought. All right, nobody has any advice on staying on top of not having a reoccurrence? Okay, that's okay. That's all right. All right, let's go. If you have any questions, it's a Q&A. Oh, Lisa has one. Hold on. So Lisa's advice is sunscreen every day, also SPF clothing, and also a hat. I also cut almost all sugar out of my diet as well as most processed foods. Great advice. I can tell you, Lisa, I'm struggling with the sugar thing. I am struggling with the sugar thing. And I haven't done my research on the link between cancer and sugar. That's something I do want to educate myself on. Lisa also suggests her advice is to go to the dermatologist every year. Yes. Yep. Stay on top of your dermatology appointments. Lisa, thank you. Great recommendations to that question. Thank you. All right. Let's go to the next question. Congratulations. Have you found any new UPF clothing or hat companies lately that are affordable and have an ounce of style or have pieces that aren't strictly athleisure? Butter. Oh, no. The short answer is no. Affordable is the thing, right? So I love Athleta. It fits me well. And yes, most of it is athleisure. I found a white button-down shirt though. And white button-down shirts with the collar are in from Athleta. And I've had it for 3 months, I want to say now. I wore it during the summer with leggings and tennis shoes, which is still an athleisure look. But now for fall, I'm wearing it under blazers. I wore it to church the other day and had like a cardigan on with the white button down underneath. So even though it was UPF 50 and sort of an athleisure, I feel like a white button down shirt, if you can find a good one of those, you can dress it up or dress it down. So that's what I've been doing. I'm trying to think. Oh, and with Athleta, they're constantly running sales. I very rarely buy something from them without a 20% off, special that they're running. They'll have a coupon code or something. And if I buy something at full price, it's because I'm scared that it's going to sell out and I love it that much. But I've only found I have one UPF jacket it's a bomber jacket from Amazon, but that looks athleisure as well. So the struggle is real. The struggle is real. Lots of smaller companies make UPF clothing that is more stylish, but you're going to pay around $200 per item, which I don't have that kind of money. Let's see here. All right, well, this goes along with the line. Before I read some more on my that were submitted earlier. Hi, thanks for submitting your question. Is it Elhag? I feel like I'm not saying that correctly. Where do you find SPF clothing, especially for men? So I think, let me see if I can post in the comments. I'm going to list some brands here, but Coolie Bar is a good one. You can find stuff on Amazon. Columbia for Men has some really great stuff. Let me think. Solibar. I think that's how you spell that. There are 4. If anybody else has any good SPF men's brands that they have found, if you'll drop those in the comment section for LHAG. Thank you for hopping on. Let's see here. On the topic of clothing still, Jenny says Amazon has some of them. Yes, Amazon has clothing. The prices vary. Don't you hate that about Amazon? One day you go in there and something is like $12 and I'll put it in my cart. And then a couple of days later, I'll come back and it's like 25 or above. And I'm like, what is going on? The thing I hate about Amazon too is you'll order something and it won't be the right size. Like I normally wear a large in everything. I order a large and stuff will come and it'll either be too small or too big. The good thing with Amazon, is you can return it. But I do have a really great black bomber jacket that was around the $24 mark that I absolutely love. That was UPF 50. I wish I had that link or I would drop it in the comments for you. That jacket is in my last UPF 50 clothing video, which I haven't done one of those in a while. All right, let's see. I'm going to try and catch up on some of these comments really quick, and then we'll move on to another question. Yes. So Lisa, I think, is referring back to the previous question about how to stay on top of not having a reoccurrence of melanoma. And she is mentioning, don't forget appropriate sunglasses and SPF lip balm. Yes. And I have a whole video, right, where I tested, how many was that? 6, 8 different lip balms. I have one right here. This was not cheap. And in that video, I like it and I do like it, but it's a lip gloss and I find I don't use it. So this is the Brush on Block SPF 32. It is a mineral lip gloss. It comes in a couple of colors. Let's see if I can show it on the camera. There we go. It's a good one if you want an SPF lip gloss. This one came off of Amazon. Let's see here. Yes, Sunday Afternoons has great hats. Yes, for men and women, great hats. I have one of their hats. I think that's my big beach hat that I have. That's really great. And then El Hag says, thank you. I just found out about your channel a month or so ago and love your sunscreen reviews. Thank you so much for watching and being part of the 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let's move on to the next comment or the next question. All right. I would love to find skincare products and makeup that I can trust. Can someone suggest some healthy products? Thanks so much. So this question, I responded back because I wanted to know what this person meant by healthy, because everybody has a different notion of what is healthy. I'm learning when it comes, especially to sunscreen. Some people swear by the mineral sunscreens, right, that have the titanium dioxide and zinc oxide in it, but those are chemicals. Some people swear by chemical sunscreen, which means they don't have a mineral component. And that's stuff like avobenzone, octisalate, octocrylene, octinoxate. Those are some of those. And I'm noticing that some people feel very strongly about whether they have a chemical or a mineral sunscreen or a hybrid. And so for me personally, right, my channel is me, so I can only speak on my experience. I like a hybrid or a mineral sunscreen. Now, chemical sunscreens I put on my children and the rest of my family because they have not had melanoma skin cancer before. And chemical sunscreens tend to not have that white cast. But I was told by my dermatologist and my melanoma oncologist that I needed to have some sort of sunscreen that had some mineral component. So it could be a hybrid sunscreen, and it needed to be an SPF of 30 or greater. So I follow, what my dermatologist, my doctors have said. And I suggest that for everybody, right? I'm not a medical professional, so I can't tell you what to use and what not to use. So I would say to this person, watch some of my sunscreen videos. But I'm very confused by the healthy, because I feel like that depends on a lot of different things. Are there any skincare brands or sunscreen brands that you feel would be a good fit for this person, or that you are loving right now? Drop those in the comments down below. Okay. I think I am caught up on comments. My cat, Mama, is walking all over my desk. Come here. Come here, baby. Oh, she does not like to be held, do you? You don't like to be held. This is Mama Blossom. She is, we think, a little over a year old. She's a tortie. Mm-hmm. She does not like it when I pick her up, but I pick her up anyways. All right, so let's see what you all are suggesting. Lisa says she prefers mineral for her sensitive skin. Yes. And I think that's part of it too, is getting to know your skin, right? Healthy products. If you're looking for healthy products, I feel like maybe you don't know your skin. So figure out what you're sensitive to, what, do you have dry skin, combo, oily? What, are you okay with a white cast in your sunscreen? Those kinds of things, which is why I started this channel. One of the reasons why I started this channel, because there's so many sunscreens out there. And so I wanted a sunscreen that fit my needs. Jenny says, yes, mineral. She likes mineral. Lisa says, Badger, I think, is the purest sunscreen, but not at all elegant. No, that's thick, white, and pasty. Although, okay, after this, my video for today, I am reviewing, and I can't reach it. It's over in the cabinet. I'm reviewing 25% zinc oxide sunscreen that does not have a white cast, and it's not thick and pasty. It is a thinner formula. So watch the review after this one. It should pop up. I've got the settings for this to start that video after this one is finished. So there, I found a better option, 25% zinc, than the Badger. But I love Badger for other things. I love they have a balm that's called Cheerful Balm. They have like a eucalyptus rub. That's so good. Oh my goodness. Okay. Elta, yes. So I've only tried one Elta MD, and it's the clear version for acne prone skin. And when I very rarely get acne on my face. Occasionally I do, though. Maybe like once a month I do. I will break out that clear. It's a hybrid sunscreen, Elta MD Clear. I love that one. Thank you, Jenny, for bringing that one up. It is so good. Clean can be a marketing term sometimes. Yes. So, and I debated whether or not to talk about clean makeup on here, clean skincare, because it is a buzzword. And people are either all for it or realizing that it's marketing. So years and years and years ago, I was very into natural, clean, but that term wasn't used back then, makeup and skincare. And I would go to a certain website and I would type in what skincare I was thinking of using, and it would tell me whether it was low in cancer-causing materials or high in cancer-causing materials. I'm not going to post that website here. I was very into it, like took classes, took courses, all that. And then as the years progressed, I realized, and stuff has come out since, that website isn't run by people without, oh no. hold on. I'm here. I'm still here. Let's see. Banners, brand. Sorry. I'm back, but I'm using I was using an actual camera that I thought was plugged in to an outlet so that the battery wouldn't die. And it just cut out on me. Sorry about that. So yes, all of that to say, it's most days it is used as a marketing term. Okay. Coats. Yes, love coats. Mineral doesn't leave a white cast. Love coats. Yep, another one, coats. Yes, love it. And it's a good price point too. Elta, Holy Grail. I wish I had the ability to do polls because it looks like a lot of you love the Elta and the coats ones. So good. I have read that it's important to have iron oxides in sunscreen, which means tinted, at least for my face. What do you think? So iron oxides, yes, I think is good. That adds another small layer of protection, right? Of UPF protection. And it adds a tint. But for me, because I am a Fitzpatrick 1, stuff with iron oxides tends to be too dark for me. Like when it has that as the ingredient, that it tends to be too dark for me. So, but yes, that's a great idea. If you're not a Fitzpatrick 1, like you've got some color to your skin. Lisa says, dermatologists on YouTube have been talking about this a lot lately, about the clean marketing or the iron oxides. I've been hearing a lot of talk for probably a year now, both in the makeup community and the skincare community, specifically about clean being a marketing. And you can see it when you go, like if you search under Sephora's clean beauty, it pops stuff up there that's not considered clean, like that has preservatives in it, and which I don't think personally, I don't have a problem with preservatives being in skincare, but I know some people do. Oh, about iron oxides. I'll have to watch some more on that. I haven't seen too much about iron oxides. Thank you, Lisa. All right, let's move on to the next question here. Nope, already did that one. Okay. Do you know of any mineral sunscreen that doesn't cause a white cast? So look for a sunscreen that is tinted. Look for a sunscreen that has clear zinc. Usually those do not have a white cast. Now, sometimes it's hard for me to figure out if a sunscreen has a white cast or not because my skin is so pale. But typically, if it's going to have a white cast, it shows up a little milky on my skin, if that makes sense. Like a little, like milky. I don't know, like extra white on my fair skin. So sometimes it's hard for me to do that. But yeah, go for the tinted ones if you can. Those are the best, I think, for if you don't want a white cast. Let's see here. Yeah. Sanja. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. If you guys want to drop your favorite mineral sunscreens that don't have a white cast, I know we've already mentioned the coats. The coats ones are great. Both of them I think are tinted that I'm thinking of. There's a hydrating one, and then there's a drier formula one. Both of those are tinted. Those don't leave a white cast. Those are great. I'm sure Elta MD has one that's tinted, but I have not tried that. Let's see where you all are. Okay. While you're dropping, I'm going to move on. Am I going to move on to the next one? Maybe? I have one more question that was submitted beforehand. And so if you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop those in the comment section. Okay. Let's see here. Really? El Hag, that one left a white cast on me. And it was so, did it leave a white? I just did a review on that one. That's good to know it didn't leave one on you. I want to say it had a bit of a milkiness in it, but for me, I could not get over the shine. The shine was too much for me. But I have combination skin, and I live in a more humid climate. So the pipette was just not for me. But I'm glad it worked for you, because I've heard that a lot of people like it. All right, here's some other ones that people are liking. Okay, Lisa likes Dermatology, Elta, and Australian Gold. I forgot about Australian Gold. I need them to come out with a shade lighter again. They have 2 shades now, right? They have the light to medium and the medium to dark. The light to medium is still too dark for me, so I have to blend it all the way down my neck. But I love it so much, especially if I'm going to be at the beach or the pool. I love it. Dermatology was too dark for me, but it works for a lot of people. I just wish they wouldn't put universal tinted on it. Universal tint, because it's not universal. It's not universal. That's my gripe. All right. How do you say that? Bobo is good too for a healthier sunscreen. No, you're fine. Okay. So another health, I have this brand in a stick form that I haven't tried yet. So I want to try that one. So I feel like the term healthy or clean refers to sunscreens that have less preservatives in them or none at all, have a shorter list of ingredients, but that's not always what's under that category. Okay, I'm getting off on a tangent again. I live in a humid climate as well, but I love the glow. I mainly use it on my body though. Oh, that's good. Yes. So I do that. Sunscreens that don't work for my face, I use up on my body too. Good. Yeah. Oh yeah. I love a glow. I love a glow on my arms. Just on my face for some reason. Let's see here. Australian Gold's tinted is great because they have several different tints. Yes, but still, I needed a shade lighter. A shade lighter. All right. You guys are mentioning some awesome ones, some really great ones. I've been trying out a lot of Korean skincare lately because they have UV filters that, even though they're not approved here in the United States in the FDA, and I have a whole video on this about how UV filters are kind of held up in the FDA and there's not enough money to do the research needed for the FDA to approve UV filters. So we have 8, I think, that are approved, where other countries have so many more UV filters that are approved. So I forgot where I was going with that. I started reading a comment and I got distracted. Let's see here. Lisa. No, I have not tried that one. And it has lots of shades to choose from. Is that the one in the little squeezy bottle? Can't remember. I have to put that on my list. I have so many that I want to try. Every month I try to buy 2 or 3 and always on a sale, because I love trying out new sunscreens, but it does get expensive. And right now I have so many open bottles. My sister came and visited about a month ago and I sent her home with so much sunscreen. Oh my goodness. So much sunscreen. And then my family uses sunscreen. They go through sunscreen, but they like different ones than I do. And I need to find more friends who need sunscreen. But if I try to give people sunscreen in the winter, because right now we're in cold weather, they're like, why do I need sunscreen? And I'm like, you need sunscreen. You need sunscreen right now. Your hands are exposed. Your face and neck are exposed. Your ears are exposed. But I don't say that because I don't want them, I don't know. I don't want them to feel like I'm judging them for not wearing sunscreen. But that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, here, take my free sunscreen and actually use it. Oh my goodness. All right, we're going to take a tiny little break. Pop in your questions if you have them, and I'm going to show you what sunscreen I am wearing today. So if you have questions, I will return to them in just a minute. Okay. This is what I got on my face today. I have a video coming out. Looking at my schedule. It probably won't be out until next week or the week after. But I've been testing out the Shiseido. It's the Urban Environment Sun Dual Care Oil-Free Hyaluronic Acid Broad Spectrum SPF 42 Water Resistant. And this is a hybrid sunscreen. It has zinc oxide as well as some chemical sunscreens in it. I'm loving this. The only thing is it's a small bottle. So I've probably already used half of it up. This wasn't a sample size either. I want to say this was a full size. It's 1 fluid ounce, but it's tinted. And it feels like skincare going on. Let me see if I can show you just a little bit here. Sorry I don't have the nice camera on anymore. I have to figure out why it died so quick. It's just a light tint, so you don't get so much of the white cast in it. And it does smell like sunscreen. But I've been enjoying this. And then I like testing out tinted moisture, tinted like foundation, moisturizing foundations. And this was the Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Tint with an SPF 20. And it has titanium dioxide as well as some chemical, octinoxate and octocrylene. And it's very light. It's a very light foundation, but the two together is really good. I've been trying these separately with other stuff, so I have a full video coming out. But again, I've gone through this fairly quickly in a month. I've been using it for a month, and I'm like halfway through this one as well. So that's what I'm currently wearing. All right, let's go back to your comments. Lisa, I'm so glad I'm not the only one who enjoys testing new sunscreens. That makes me so happy. I'm trying MD Solar Sciences and Tula right now. Okay, Tula. That one more glowy? I want to say I looked at that one because I love the Tula face wash, the probiotic face wash. So good. But that's the only Tula product I think I've tried. Let's see here. Elhag says, I'm so sick of Australians and Europeans talking about ultraviolet. The FDA hasn't approved those filters yet. So ultraviolet UV is just the rays. And I think not just those countries talk about UV filters, but UV filters are, in my opinion, important to talk about because the FDA they've had the same 8 UVs. I could be saying this, I could get my year off slightly, but I think they haven't approved any new ones since the 60s. And new filters have been submitted, but because the FDA isn't funded, funded as well as it could be. They put their resources, the FDA here in the States, it's just what governs like our food and cosmetics, sunscreen. There's various other things, medications. There's a lot of things that are under the FDA approval process that they regulate and make sure is safe for human consumption and application. And I don't think it's funded as properly as it needs to. And so they have a backlog. I did do a video on this talking more about it with some articles to go along with it because I had never heard of that before. But it's not that other UV filters, other chemical ones, other mineral ones from Europe, Australia, Korea. It's not that those are bad for us. It just, they're stuck in a process, in like a waiting line, waiting to receive money to do further testing, waiting in line for the FDA to do their own testing. Like, it's just a backlog. It's just like a waiting line. So it's not that those are harmful for us. It's just the United States hasn't done testing, whereas Korea has done their own testing. Australia has done their own testing. Europe has done their own testing. United States just hasn't gotten around to it. So, yep. Yes, it's coming up, Echo Zinc. They, so the company that sent me the Echo Zinc, which I don't tell you in the video today coming up, sent me over the summer. No, it was before we moved. They sent 7 or 8 different sunscreens. So it's coming from a manufacturing brand, the private label brand. So they test and they come up with the formulas for sunscreens, and then brands can put their label on it and customize the sunscreen to a certain extent. So if they want to offer, say, like a small boutique wants to offer their own sunscreen brand, they can say, contact this company and say, okay, what are my options? I want, a range of 3 different tints. I want it to include hyaluronic acid. I want it to be high in zinc, a zinc oxide concentrate, or I want to make sure it has few ingredients. That's what this company does, is they specialize, and it's not Echo Zinc. It's not that. It's a different, I think it's called vegan skin, but skin is missing the I. They come up with all these formulations and they send samples out to brands that can say, hey, I'd like to put my label on this and sell this in my little boutique or on Amazon. And so they sent me a lot of sunscreens to test out. Majority of them were not to my preference. The majority of them were thick and pasty. And so I said, I can't do a video promoting your sunscreens when I lasted 10 minutes with this on my face and couldn't stand it. And I said, it's just not for me. So they sent me a new formula. And so that new formula, Echo Zinc, has put their brand on that formula, their brand name. And so that's what I'm testing out in the video to let you know how that went. So it was interesting. It was interesting to see how, what that process was. Oh, okay. So Ultra, I'm not familiar with that. Okay. So it's a brand. It's an Australian brand. Okay. I'll have to look into that. Thank you. I did not know that. Great. Okay. I was planning to go till 1:30, 1:40 because I got to go pick up my daughter at 2 at school. So let me go back. I think I have one more question here. Okay. Okay. 3 months ago. Would love. Oh, okay. So Sanja posted this question 3 months ago and I never responded to her. So if she watches this in the replay, I'm so sorry. Just now getting to this question. Would love for you to talk about removing your SPF. Do you shower every night? I struggle with removal. I prefer showering in the morning, but find I also have to, and it got cut off. So I don't know what she said after that. So for my face, I've done videos on that of how I do a 2-step process to remove sunscreen on my face. And that's because the pores on my face need cleaning a lot more often than the pores on my body. And so my answer is I don't worry about sunscreen on the rest of my body. I take a shower most days. This is exposing me. I try and take a shower daily. I want to take a shower daily, but some days I'm so busy with the kids that I have to skip a day. But I always wash my face twice a day. I wash my face twice a day. But for my body, I don't worry about it. And for my daughter, I put sunscreen on her body as well before I send her to kindergarten. I don't worry about removing that either. And here's why. I watched a video. Oh my goodness, I can see his face, and I did a video on it, and his name is slipping my mind. He is a makeup beauty YouTuber. What is his name? It'll come to me as I talk about it. Who, this is silly, but he talked about how he put sunscreen on before he went to bed. So he did all his nighttime routine and then he put sunscreen on and then he went to sleep so that when he woke up in the morning, he would have sunscreen on him so that when he walked from his bed to his bathroom to get ready for the morning and the sunlight was coming in through the windows, so he wouldn't get UV. So when I heard that, I thought, well, that's a little silly because the sunscreen will rub off on the sheets. And you'll end up with patchy and it only lasts 2 hours, or you only sleep in 2 hours a night. So it was a little silly to me, but it made me think it doesn't matter. Personally, until there's like some science study that shows that leaving sunscreen or building up sunscreen on your body is a bad thing, it doesn't bother me. Now, if it's too thick and pasty, if there's like a texture thing with it, I will wash it off. And in the shower, I just use regular soap. I think if you use a washcloth, that will probably help scrub it off your body. They do make shower oils though that you could use. But I think that's different with everybody. All right, let's see here. You heard about the ultraviolet UV Australian brand from Matilda? I'm not familiar with Matilda. Oh, hold on. I skipped one. I'm fairly new to your channel to use UV stickers. Okay, spoiler alert. I've purchased UV stickers. Let me know what you think about them because I was so curious. I saw on TikTok somebody was using UV stickers. I bought them and I've been testing them out on different sunscreens, and I'm going to come out with a video showing the stickers and the UV for a bunch of different sunscreens. So that's coming because it's taken me a while to film and I have to remember to put the sticker on and put the sunscreen on top of it and do the little test and all that. But yes, I think UV stickers are fascinating. I think they would be great for people who forget to reapply. I think they would be great for, if you're out on the beach, you're at the pool, fantastic. Or if you just want to test the effectiveness of your sunscreen, which is what I've been doing. So you guys got a little spoiler alert of a long-term project I've been working on. Let me know, Elhag. Do you use the UV stickers? I follow a dermatologist who applies sunscreen after she washes her face at night to sleep in. She wears sunscreen on her face constantly. Okay, so there's somebody else who does that too. For me, it's just layers upon layers. Was it Dr. Dre who described our skin as like a wall that you paint? And I love that analogy where our skin is filled with divots and bumps and it's like a wall that you're freshly painting. You paint down the wall once and you can tell, obviously it needs a second coat because it didn't cover the whole surface. So you do it again. And so that's why one of the reasons why it doesn't bother me to have sunscreen on me constantly, because I feel like I'm just building up protection. Now, whether that's actually happening, but it makes me feel good. I don't know the science behind it. I used some over the summer and it made me apply more frequently. Oh, good. Okay, good. Yes. Yep. I can see where it would be very helpful. Just like the, what is it? The blue lizard bottle that turns blue, when you leave it out in the sun to remind you to reapply. Those bottles are cool, but yes, the stickers are awesome. Did I miss any? Okay. This is fun. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Okay, I did want to end with one thing. Let me take this comment off. Okay, so here's what we're going to do next. I'm going to talk briefly about a community post I did a while back that I asked for your favorite SPF myths, like myths about SPF. So we're going to do that one next. And if you have any myths, drop them down below. I did gather the one from the previous community post, so I have that one. So let me know if you have any myths, drop those in the comment section. And then if you have any prayer requests, I'm going to do that. I'm going to pray. If you guys need me to pray for anything, we're going to end the live stream with prayer. And I don't share my faith on YouTube as much. There's a whole big long story to that. But my faith is a huge part of who I am. I did children's ministry for 13 years in United Methodist churches. And I'm still very active in church. I have a master's degree in theology. But it's not something that I share because it's so ingrained in my daily life. And I want more people to feel included on my YouTube channels that I don't talk about it much. But oftentimes when people post comments about being newly diagnosed with melanoma or waiting on answers from biopsy results or talking with family members, cancer is tricky. And if people need prayer, then I've been adding you to those of you who, say that you're waiting on results or you've just diagnosed. I've been adding you to a prayer list and praying. So I thought we would end with that, if that's okay with you all. And if nobody has any prayer requests, I'm super fine with that as well. No pressure whatsoever. If you skip out on the prayer at the end, perfectly fine. I never want to impose my religion on anyone else. Okay, but let's talk about your favorite SPF myths. Okay, let's see here. Let me pop up the one. Lisa, was this one yours or is this somebody else's? I can't remember. I can't remember who posted this one. Sunscreen causes cancer. Oh no, this was, I think this was Mignon's. Sunscreen causes cancer is the SPF myth here. Honorable mention to the folks who drop their pants and assume a particular pose to expose their southbound train station to full midday sun for health. Okay, so there's two parts. There's two parts to this answer, right? We're talking about SPF myths. Okay, the first one, sunscreen causes cancer. I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent here because I get comments from people who believe this. I get comments all the time on my videos telling me how horrible of a person I am, that I am telling people they need to wear sunscreen outside, that sunscreen causes cancer, and how dare I tell people, and that my melanoma was not caused by the sun. I'm okay with people disagree with me, but I think I've made it very clear that on this channel, sunscreen is of utmost importance to me because not using enough sunscreen caused my melanoma cancer. And although not all melanomas are caused by UV exposure, mine was, and many, 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 many people's are. And especially here in the States, we have a culture where tanning and darker skin tones are valued and seen as more beautiful than pale skin. And that culture, in my opinion, needs to change. And part of that reason is because of myths like this. Myths that sunscreen causes cancer. Myths that all skin tones aren't beautiful, because everybody's skin is beautiful. Your natural skin is beautiful. And I wish we could just embrace that. I didn't embrace that. I thought tans were more beautiful. Hence why I ended up with melanoma. I bought into the lie. I bought into the myth that tanning was more beautiful than my natural skin tone. So I get rid of people who tell me in the comment section of my YouTube videos that sunscreen causes cancer, because you just need to move on. You just need to move on. I'm sure there will be some comments on this video later of people. This isn't the channel for you. If you believe sunscreen causes cancer, this isn't the channel for you, because I made it very clear that sunscreen prevents cancer. So that's one thing that needs to change, in my opinion. And then the second half of her comment had me laughing. I was like, what is she talking about? And she told me not to look it up. She said, don't Google this. She said, you will see things you don't want to see. But I realized what she was talking about. And it's those who believe that you need sun on underexposed parts of your body that don't normally get sunlight and that's healthy for you. And I do not know the science behind this. I know that sun is good for you. It keeps depression at bay. It increases that serotonin. It produces serotonin. It helps you feel happy to be out in the sun. I know there are tons of benefits of sun. So I'm not talking about, I don't think the sun is dangerous for all people. And I don't think that the sun is bad. I think overexposure, in my opinion, overexposure to the sun is bad. Exposure without protection is bad. And it's, for me, because I've had melanoma, it's even more important for me to wear the sunscreen, wear the UPF clothing, because I've already had it once and my chances for getting melanoma are higher. So I will not be exposing anything to the midday sun for health reasons. Have you guys heard of this? Let me know. Let me know. All right, let's go to the comment section because I see you guys are popping some stuff down in there. All right, Lisa says sunscreen blocks all vitamin D. So I'm not certain. Oh, okay. Well, let me just say this. I asked my dermatologist this question, and he said that there are studies that show that some vitamin D does still get through because we miss parts when we're applying sunscreen. And it depends on the UV level outside because, sunscreen doesn't block 100% of the UV rays. So stuff still gets through. But I still take, personally, I take vitamin D supplements because I know I apply more than the average person. Let's see here. Is it Shifa or Shifa? I'm not sure. Thank you for the hearts. Elhag says, I'd heard that chemical sunscreens were cancerous when I was a kid. So I heard this since being on YouTube. And I know, I've done sunscreens that get recalled. But also, wasn't there some dry shampoo products that just recently got recalled for, is it benzene? Which is a cancer-causing chemical. But usually those things aren't supposed to be in the sunscreens to begin with. So it's not like they put chemicals in sunscreens that they know are going to cause cancer. But in the manufacturing process, the way I understand it, in the manufacturing process, you get byproducts from things that were getting into sunscreens, like benzene, that were cancer-causing. And so they do recalls on those, but those things can also get into other stuff. They can get into deodorants. They can get into dry shampoo. So from the research that I've seen, again, it's my opinion, not fact, but from the research that I've done, it's not that brands are intentionally putting cancer-causing chemicals in sunscreens, and it can happen in the mineral ones too, or the hybrid ones. It can happen in any of them. It's just in the manufacturing process, something is those bad chemicals are getting in. Just remember there was a spinach, anytime there's an E. coli outbreak in food, right? And they recall, usually it's fresh produce, like spinach is what I'm thinking of. They didn't put those chemicals in there, but during the process of packaging and picking and all of that, the chemicals entered in. So that's kind of how I think about that. The chemical sunscreens aren't bad. Lisa, I never ever used sunscreen and I got cancer. Now I've used sunscreen for 16 years and no more cancer. Yes, Lisa. Yep. We are on the same page. I don't get it. Yeah. I don't get it. Yep. My mom's best friend is a skin cancer survivor twice. Wow. But my mom never pushed sunscreen as a child. Wow. Well, it was different. So I don't know how old you are, but I'm 42. And so my mom, when she was a kid, the swimsuits were more modest. They covered more of your skin. And her parents, my grandparents, the lighter colored skin was valued more, which we're not talking about racial issues here because that's a whole other issue. But I think because people like our grandparents' generation wore longer sleeves even in the summer because they wanted to be paler, they covered up more. And so then when her generation, she's in her 60s, was a kid, their swimsuits were more modest. So she didn't get burns as a child. But then when she hit her teenage years, there was a culture shift, and tanning became more popular and more beautiful. And her generation, would lay out in the sun with the baby oil and just try and get as much sun as they could, like cook their bodies. My mom to this day says how much she loves sunburns. She loves sunburns. And so when I was born, she just carried on what she had learned, and did not push sunscreen. Now, when we would go on vacation, I got to go. When we would go on vacation, there were 3 of us kids, and my mom would have 1 bottle of sunscreen that was most likely a year or 2 old. And she would say, apply as little as possible because all 3 of you have to wear this. And then I would come back from the beach with water blisters on my shoulders, burnt head to toe, and it wasn't an issue. And so I think it's a generational thing, and there's more knowledge. Sunscreens weren't as good back then either. A lot of them just prevented the burning and didn't prevent the cancer-causing stuff to come through anyways. There's just a lot of misinformation, I think. Oh, Lisa, you meant that as a myth. Okay, sorry. Sorry, I misunderstood you. Yeah. You sound you sound like me in that you'd rather overprotect yourself in the case that there's, something is missed. Let's see. We get more vitamins from ingesting them versus skin absorption. Let's see. My mom probably grew up with those surfing movies from the 50s and 60s. Yes. 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 And you know how difficult it is to get my mom to wear sunscreen now? And they live in Florida. They moved to Florida half the year, and I'm still trying to get them to wear sunscreen. My dad has had basal cell on his face, so he's more vigilant about wearing sunscreen on his face, but he doesn't wear it on his arms. So I don't know. We're gonna end with prayer. If you have any prayer requests, drop those now because I have to put shoes on, feed the cats, and head out the door to sit in car line for 30 minutes before I get my daughter from school. But I don't want us to forget to pray. If you don't want prayer or you don't need prayer, feel free to bow out now. How do I get that off there? Feel free to bow out now, and I will not be offended. I'll just wait a few minutes here to see if anybody has any prayer requests. If not, I'll just close in a general prayer of healing for those that I know need it. I'm laughing, not because I'm not serious. I get nervous when I laugh. Sorry. I laugh when I get nervous. All right. See if we get any prayer requests. If you're watching the replay and you want to drop some prayer requests in, please feel free to do that as well. All right, we've got one prayer request. Oh, I'm dropping stuff. Anybody else? Any other prayer request? I know there's a little bit of a time lag from when I speak and when you all see the video. think I have a cat behind me. Yep. Mama, you sleeping? All right, I'll start praying, and then if any of them come in, I'll add them in there. Elhag, I see yours. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to add a banner really quick that we're prayers so I can put a timestamp on it. All right. Let us pray. Dear God, we come to you with humble hearts. We come to you as your children. There are prayers that have been mentioned as well as unspoken ones. There are prayers and requests and needs throughout this melanoma community that only you know of. Dear God, I ask that you keep Elhag, his brother, to hold him close, whatever the request, whatever the need is with his brother. I ask that your presence be in that situation. Dear God, I ask for prayers for those who have left comments under my videos, who are waiting for test results, who are waiting for answers to surgery. They're waiting on surgery dates, or they're waiting on that phone call, or they're trying to get a loved one to go and see a dermatologist to get a spot looked at. I pray for those who have had melanoma and continue to have health issues afterwards. I pray for your healing hand to be on all of those people. I pray for each and every person who was in my live stream today. Dear God, I don't know their needs, but you do. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayers. In your name I pray. Amen. Thank you all for joining the live stream, and I wish you a great rest of the week.